Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm doing some compost, some super healthy, rich, beautiful compost, and I wanted to show you how I do it. I've got more than one different ways of doing compost, and this is one of more like a controlled way. It's perfectly suitable for smaller gardens, for smaller backyards, when you don't have so much space to do like a 1 cubic meter of compost material and turning it and so on. So let's get into it and I'll show you how easy it is. And don't forget, if you liked this video, so please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and also share with your friends and family if you think they might like it as well. We will need a large pot with holes at the bottom, so some soil. This is a soil which I'm collecting when I replant some plants, or any old soil will do. This is some compost, just a little to get the job started. Some kitchen scraps. We don't have many, so whatever I've got. All our kitchen scraps go always to the chickens, so it doesn't need to be if you don't have any. Some wood chips or grass cuttings here as well. Some wood ash from our fireplace. Some neem leaves would be great if you have any. If not, at least some onions or like garlic greens or whatever. These are the green onions I have collected. Look, some old ones. You can add some shredded pepper if you have any. No, not the dog. It's not the ingredient, but he's cute. And we need some greens. So the best is if you prepare all the ingredients before, and at the end you look for your greens. So this is any greens I had in the garden. Just walking through with the pot and looking what I've got. Like any trees I have to trim. You can see here some curry leaves from, they all grow like crazy, so it's good to trim them. Some spinaches which have been eaten, some unwanted plants, weeds, some pigeon peas, whatever I found. These are some banana leaves, they were in my way, so like really any green will do. I have put this pot on these 2 bricks and some tray at the front, and this pot is sitting like on an angle. I want the juice get down to collect into the tray, but you can also put the entire pot on a tray because we will need the juice later on. So obviously this way is easier to handle, especially if you have a larger pot. We start with some soil. So this really depends how much of it you've got. You don't have to measure exactly. There are some nice worms. They will work for us as well. Half of the compost you've got, roughly half of it, you can see there are some worms as well. You can take any compost. If you don't have any at all, well, you don't give any. It's just the compost production is going much quicker if you have a little compost to start the job. We get some greens and stuck it on top. Now let's get some wood chips. You could also, if you don't have any of this ingredient, doesn't matter, you can still do beautiful and perfect compost it's great to give some eggshells as well if you don't have chickens, because our eggshells, they are all going to the chickens. So let's get some greens again. Make it nice and firm. Now some shredded paper, neem leaves, or onions, also onion shells or garlic or whatever you've got. We can add some wood chips. If you have grass, you can add some grass clippings as well. So also hay or straw, anything. Now let's get some chicken scrap, kitchen scraps. Greens again. It's important that you get the layers so it can work through. So squeeze it firmly. So let's do some wood chips. We put half of this because I've decided to do a second batch with different ingredients and show you that it works as well. Some of these guys, some more greens. The smaller the greens, the quicker obviously they will decompose. Let's get some more compost on top and some soil on top. The soil on top will stop the bad smell. So. Okay, so the last job with this one now is to water it properly. You need to water it and you need to leave it outside in a warm place. The best is if you leave it somewhere where the sun comes in. The more sun, the better. So you can see the water is going into the tray already, so it means that's enough. So we can put it again, because probably there is still some dry stuff in there. And this is enough for the day number 1. Quick and easy. But now I have decided to do a second pot with all the ingredients I've got left. Okay, so now the only ingredients I've got left is some of the old soil, shredded paper, some wood chips, some wood ash. The dog is still there as well. And some greens on a tray. So now it's getting interesting because we've got 2 different pots with not all the same ingredients, and you can watch with me what happens. You can see all pots nice and empty, and the dog is still there helping all the time. Hello baby. Yes, this is day number 4. We can see a little difference here now, so You can see the juice or the water came through, so I can, or I have to put it back in, because this is lots of nutrients you have to keep, and you want to keep. This one here, the smaller one, has nearly no water in there, and before the sun is drying it out, you want to add some water on top, just to keep it moist. You can see that the water just started to come out, so this is a really good indication. You just stop watering when you see it starts to drop into the tray. And this one I only add a little water as well, and there is some water already in the tray, so that's enough for now. Just don't let it dry out. But when you are gardening, when you want to do the compost, so you are most likely in the garden anyway every day, like me. It is 1 month now since I set up the pots, and now let's have a look what's happening inside. I was always making sure in between that it's not dry, and when I had some water I always moved it back in, and so yeah, and it was standing in the full sun. You can already see how nicely everything is working. I can see lots of worms, which is a really very good sign. They are working on making the soil. Lots and lots of worms happening here. They are really busy, and this is what we want to see. Let's have a look what's happening here. You can see it's working as well. Top. Also lots of worms working beautifully for us. So yeah, after a month you can check it, you can mix it through a little, but usually it's not necessary because the worms are doing it for us. So you can see even this pot, it's doing what it's supposed to do. This is the finished product. After 2 months, you can still see some leaves, so you could, if you are not in hurry, you can still leave it for 2, 3 or even more months if you like, but the soil is perfectly fine for using already. I could also sieve it to get rid of this larger stuff if I want to, but it's perfectly fine to use it like this. Also the smaller pot, it's perfectly fine. You still can see some the banana leaves which didn't decompose yet, but I can take them and move them into my new batch. And also if I don't need it, I just move it to a large container and without holes, and put a lid on and use it when I need it. So yeah, the tray was always emptied back in there, and also if it was too dry I just put some more water in, or if it was raining, so I always put a lid on, so because we don't want to get the juices all out. So yeah, let's move it now. Look at this. These are all the layers we had. After 2 months, you can still see a little bit of the ingredients in there, but it doesn't matter at all, because you know what? I will use this large stuff to make my new batch. So I've got the first part, I've got the first layer of soil here. So we put some compost in there. So let's get the second pot in. Have a look at this. So let's get it out. This is my soil after 8 weeks, which is really not long. If I would leave it for another 4 weeks, so 3 months all up, I will have it all basically looking like this, like soil. I don't mind having these larger bits because I will put them straight away into the new batch. There are lots and lots of worm eggs in there as well, which will evolve into beautiful worms which will help to decompose the organic matter, the materials we have in the new batch, to create new soil. So I will put a lid on and leave it for another 3 to 4 weeks probably, so the soil will be perfecto. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please put a thumb up for me, and share and subscribe and so on, and I will see you next time. And I'm starting my new batch, covering this one, and that's about it.